Let me see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Guys, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. I see you, Father of Three. I see you, Deal Devoted. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, Three Strikes? All right. Let me go check out this weather, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. They say Bam Knight is the new starter for Arizona. Jay Moore, why is Bam Knight the new starter for Arizona? I know he's gonna get some carries, some opportunities, but why is he the new starter? Let me know what's going on. I haven't seen it. Okay. All right. So there's a couple raining games that I want to talk about before we get started, guys. Before we get started. So the Chargers going against the Miami Dolphins today. It's gonna be let's see here. No, that game is fine. I'm sorry. It's the Dallas and Carolina game in Carolina. Guys, it's going to be 17 miles per hour wind. So Rico Dowdle is a play. Yeah, so the passing game, lower your expectations for Tet, lower your expectations for George Pickens. Now, listen, they still going to throw that ball, but let's lower your expectations a little bit. If they got them projected for 18 points, put their projections for 14 points. Right? You got to lower, I would say, a 30% dip for the wide receivers. But the running backs are going to be great. The running backs are going to be great in this game. So I love Rico Dowdle. I also love Javonte Williams in this game. So it's going to be a 17 miles per hour and a chance of rain for the Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers game. Another high win game is going to be the Los Angeles Rams and the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be at the Ravens, so it's going to be outside. It's going to be isolated rain showers, so I think everybody's going to be okay. This is a Derrick Henry game anyway, no matter what for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not playing Rashad Bateman. Zay Flowers could be on the snap count. Nobody knows. I do like Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews a little bit. For the Rams, I'm still playing Puka Nacua, but I'm lowering my expectations a little bit for Puka Nacua too, but he still got to start him. He's still going to be a boom guy. And that's the main rain games, guys. The rest of it doesn't really matter to me. The wind is low, but these two games, 17 miles per hour wind, whenever it's over 15 miles per hour, it does move the trajectory of the ball. So you have to be aware of that. But listen, we splitting hairs here. This is not going to kill your team. What's going on, Stacy? This is a happy Sunday. Derrick Henry or Michael Carter. No other options. I'm going with Derrick Henry. You got to go down with the ship. She said, shaking my head. I know. Okay. So let's get started on these questions, guys. Let's get started on these questions. Father of Three says, good morning, bro. Travion Henderson, Golden, or Kendrick Bourne in the flex? I'm going with Travion Henderson slightly over Kendrick Bourne. All three of these guys are good starters, but I want to get Travion Henderson as a nice floor, as a running back, as an RB2 for this game. Now, the guy who got the most upside, I would say, would be Kendrick Bourne. So we know it's no Ricky Pearsall. Juwan Jennings is playing, but who else is he going to go to? So to me, with Tongues, and then Tongues is still in the game. Tongues is still in the game. So to me, I think Kendrick Bourne could get 7 targets today, maybe not 10 like he did a couple weeks ago, maybe just only 7 targets, but I still think he's a nice play as a flex play. Golden is a lot of mouths to feed. We are predicting Golden to have a boom game going against the Cincinnati Bengals. But guess what? He has Dontavius Wicks. He has Romeo Dobbs. It's a lot of weapons around him to get him to produce. So that's why I'm knocking him down when you have guys like Travion Henderson, who is an RB2 and is a really good RB. You know what I'm saying? Travion Henderson is really good. We expecting a boom game coming from him soon. So I'm gonna say Travion, bro. But if you wanted to go to Kendrick Bourne, there's nothing wrong with that. Kendrick Bourne might have the safest floor, but I was to say Travion in my opinion. So what I'm trying to do is break it down, man, because these are really good options. So I'm giving you the menu, and I'm letting you pick what you want on the menu. And I'm just going to explain to you what you're going to be eating, pause, per se, right? So Travion Henderson is an RB2 who's going to touch the ball 10 to 15 times. Kendrick Bourne is a guy going to get at least 7 targets with no Ricky Pearsall. And Matthew Golden is a guy who can have 1 or 2 big plays, but there's a lot of mouths to feed. So to me, Brand, I'm going to rank the top 2 guys I think you should play. It should be Travion Henderson or Kendrick Bourne. Thomas says, what up, TD? What up, bruh? He says earlier, Haskins also named to lead the backfield for what it's worth. For what it's worth, right? Leading the backfield doesn't mean that you're gonna be the starter the whole game. It's gonna be a hot hand approach, right? So if Kamani break a long play, if Hassan Haskins go out there and break a long play first series or second, third series, so it's gonna be a hot hand approach. Me, I'm going now with Kamani Vidal. I watched him play at Troy. I feel good with playing him. Haskins, to me, is a good player. He knows the Harbaugh system, but I don't think he has the explosiveness that Vidal has. But listen, if you want to start Haskins, who am I? I'm watching the same game that y'all watching. I'm standing 10 toes down on Kamani Vidal. That's the only difference. Aaron Holloway says Bam Knight or Vidal. So, according to the news that I'm getting, is that Bam Knight is going to be the starter. According to the news that I'm getting, is Bam Knight is going to be the starter. Me, I'm playing Vidal, but if Bam Knight is the starter for Arizona, and you know Kyler Murray's not playing Jacoby Brissett, I think this offense takes a big hit. Maybe Jacoby Brissett goes out there and throws a couple big deep balls to Marvin Harrison and keep them in the game. Who knows? Jacoby Brissett can play. We know he had plenty of big-time upsets. I just don't like playing teams if I don't think the offense is going to be moving. The only guy that I'm trusting on Arizona is Trey McBride, and that's because I believe that a quarterback best friend is the tight end. So I know Jacoby Brissett is going to be targeting him. But outside of that, bro, it's rough. So I don't think they're going to score as many points as they have been. That's just my opinion. We never know, right? Jacoby can make this offense move. I'm going to go with Vidal. But I think it's tomato, according to the new news that Bam Knight is going to be the starter. I don't like that. I think that's disgusting. You got DeMarcado, then you got Michael Carter. Like, I don't get it. We got Phenom member, 3 strikes. That's what I'm talking about, bruh. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Aaron Holloway says Golden or Henderson. I'm going with Henderson over Golden. Thomas says Henderson or Haskins. I'm going with Henderson over Haskins. So I'm going down with the Henderson ship today. The quest says, oh my God, it's Morgan Freeman. Thank you, bro. Yes, sir. I'll take that. You know how many women that I grew up with that love Morgan Freeman? I wish they loved me like they love Morgan Freeman. 3 strikes says, yes, sir. Let's get it, bro. Phenom, yes, sir. Jay Moore says, Arizona is desperate for running back efficiency. I'm ready to drop Carter for a long-term play. I got you. A stash. I got you. But to me, man, Michael Carter is a great rental. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from North Carolina. I drove to Florida 2 or 3 months ago. And the car I got was a real small compact car. Would I buy that car? Hell no. But would I drive that car to Florida for the cheap gas? I could put $15 in there and go 500 miles? Hell yeah. So I think Michael Carter is a great rental to get by. Oh, I need a flex play. Okay, is he starting? But now he's not starting, so that makes me get off him. But I'm willing to play anybody that I feel like is going to get some carries that can give me a touchdown or 2 with a couple yards so I can win this week, right? Yes, sir. 3 strikes says, if you got Henderson, White and Rico, which two running backs, which two you running with, bruh? If you got Henderson and White and Rico, I'm going with White and Rico. And the reason why I'm going with White and Rico is I believe those guys are going to get more touches than Henderson. And the game script is really good for Rico. No Chuba Hubbard. And you got White, who's catching all the PPR passes and didn't let Sean Tucker come in and beat him out last week. I got to go with White and Rico in this one. Let's see. I think... Okay. So Deal Devoted said, let's go. Ice Cold Jones, what's up, bro? He said, should I pick Young, Rodgers, Tua, or Mac Jones? Bro, I'm about to get cutting edge with you. I'm gonna say Mac Jones. Bryce Young, I'm terrified of, bro. I can't. If I tell you to play Young and he goes out and gives you 6 points, I'm gonna be angry and I'm gonna be hurt because I'm willing to go down with the ship, but I'm not willing to tell people to go on a ship that got a hole on it and I plugged it with some rubber. I'm not doing that. Bryce Young to me feels like, yeah, you can go down with that ship, but it's a hole in that ship, and we tried to fix it. Hopefully the tape can hold, so I'm not gonna sit there and tell you to play Bryce Young. I can't do that. He does have the best matchup. I really like Rodgers for a sneaky play, but that's just pure sneaky play, super flex play. This is not no one quarterback league. Play Rodgers off the waiver. Mac Jones, who? Mac Jones, who? Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. Mac Jones? Yeah, I'm going to go with Mac Jones. Throwing it to Jawan Jennings, throwing it to Tungus, throwing it to Kendrick Bourne, throwing it to CMC. Yes, with the offensive coordinator like Shanahan, I'm going with Mac Jones over Tua. So I'm gonna tell you to play Mac Jones, and then I also like Rodgers for a sneaky play. That's just trying to be cute. So I'm not gonna recommend you try to get cute. Pause. KO says, would you hold Hampton with the news he will be out more than 4 weeks? Yes, if I got the room. Yes, you don't want to drop Hampton. You do not want to drop him. Somebody can get him and hold him on to him, and then they got a RB2 when he comes back. So you got to hold on to Hampton, bro. You got to hold on to your family. You can't just get off your family because of one little bad information or whatever. You got to hold on to your family. Your family's key. Hold on to your guy that you drafted him. Hold on to him. You don't want nobody to get him then beat you later with him. Let's see. Jay Moore says, per Adam Scheffler report, I don't know, man. Wow. 3 Strikes says, heard Carolina game dealing with some winds and weather. Think it affects anything? Yes. Just 30% less on the wide receivers than the quarterbacks. The running back should go up a little bit. So Rico's even got a better opportunity. That doesn't mean he's going to boom, but the opportunity is going to be sweet for him. Let's see. Dirtboard says, morning, Golf or Mac Jones? Bro, you got to play Golf. Golf is a start every week. He's a start, man. He's in that level, man. He's on the way to an MVP type candidate season. So I love Golf. Mark Andrews, Fannin or Taysom Hill? I'm going with Fannin. I'm not playing no gadget guy like Taysom Hill. I need to see more out of that. Mark Andrews hasn't been getting any targets. You got Cooper Rush as the quarterback. Fannin has been getting a lot of PPR points. He's getting targeted. Even though Njoku had a touchdown last week, Fannin still was getting targeted, and he had a touchdown too. So I'm going to say Fannin and Golf. Jay Moore says, Chase Brown with Hendy, full PPR. I'm going with Hendy over Chase Brown. Chase Brown. Yankee, what's up, bro? He said Junkins or Rashad White and half-point PPR. I'm going to go with Junkins and half-point PPR. Tampa Bay has a high-point score total. Pitt will stack the line, and Junkins may be stopped. Facts. But that's not how you break down Judkins at this point in time. Like, and this is what I'm gonna tell you, and I know you may not perceive it because of the name. I'm gonna throw the names in a minute. So you got this RB. He a top 10 RB. He's going against the #1 defense. They've been stopping everybody under 50 yards the whole season. Are you going in this half-point PPR? Are you going to set that running back? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's CMC. No, you're not going to set him. Now, you might say, we catch passes. Judkins catch a little bit of passes, but it don't mean matter about passes. Even if you told me he's not going to catch any passes, I'm still playing him. It's Judkins. So this is what I'm saying. We got to go off the logic. Like, okay, yeah, Judkins, they playing against a tough defense. They can stop it. This is a divisional game. That's true. But when you up here in this tier, bro, you don't sit none of these guys. You don't sit these guys. Judkins is in that tier. So we're not going to try to find the science of the game script for him. It's no game script in top 10 RBs. There's no game script. Now, listen, you can play game script with top 10 RBs, and you can win with it. I don't play that way. I play against people who do that. They would sit a Derrick Henry because he don't have his quarterback with him, and it's a tough time. I don't play that way. What I do is, I got my CMCs and Jahmyr Gibbs and all of those guys and any of the top 7, 8 running backs, even 10, I'm playing them in this easy decision. I don't care who they playing. So that's why I'm telling you to play Judkins. I love the way your game script, you killed the game script. That's exactly probably what Pittsburgh gonna do. Hey, beat me, Dylan Gabriel. I'm not gonna let no damn Judkins beat me. I'm gonna make Dylan Gabriel pass the ball. But guess what? Judkins can hit one big long run because he's that good. He's been playing good. Listen, he played against Green Bay. Look what he did to Green Bay. Pittsburgh has been giving it up. They used to. They changed their life. But at the first 2 weeks of the season, they was giving up behind the dumpster. People forgot. I forget. I heard the rumors in the hood that you was behind the dumpster with all those people. So you still can give it up. You still can go back to your old ways, right? I need my RB2 to outscore the projections, right? I get what you're saying, bro. So listen, if you wanted to go with Rashad White, basically what I'm telling you, you got the science down. I just don't feel comfortable telling you to sit Judkins the way I perceive fantasy football. But you got the game script. So if you I love White. I'm starting White too, but I don't have to make that decision in none of my leagues. Yankee says, what do you expect from Mac Jones today? Will he boom versus Tampa Bay? He will need to keep up with the Baker. I don't know if he's going to boom because he has CMC. CMC can have 2 rushing touchdowns, but I do think he's going to play very well today. The question says, oh my God, it's Morgan Freeman. Yeah, Morgan Freeman is what he said. My bad. Brinley says, Caleb versus Jordan Love. That's tough. Woo-wee. That is tough. I'm going to go with Caleb because Jordan Love can give it to Josh Jacobs and not have a great fantasy output, even though he might have a great game. I think Caleb has to play well for his team to win. So I'm going to go with Caleb, but it's close. It's tomato. Jay Moore says, should I make and splash and add Benson off waivers and drop Carter? Knight was scooped up immediately after the news broke. Yes, why not? That's probably going to hurt Demarcado where he might not even get no touches. Carter going to be the third down back. Bam going to come in and get a lot of carries. So, yes, you need to pick up Benson because once Benson comes back, he will come into that role and be a good starting running back. He will be a top 24 running back with his target ratio. So, I love that. Ronaldo says, good morning, Donald or Mac Jones? I'm going with Mac Jones. Mac Jones, but Darnold does pass the ball more than Mac Jones. So if you want to follow the logic of the science, Darnold's been passing the ball over 30 times. I think he said 3 games over 30 times passing. I think maybe even more. So Darnold's been passing the ball a lot, and he has some decent weapons. But I like Mac Jones' efficiency through the Shanahan's offense. So I like Mac Jones, but you can't go wrong with either one. Jennings coming back. Him and Bourne, thank you, TD. Yes, Bourne, Jennings is there and Bourne is there. So that's why I like Mac Jones, but Darnold's been passing the ball, and he's been putting up big-time yards. So Jones has only been getting there and being a top quarterback off of efficiency. Darnold's been getting there off of volume and having big plays. Three Strikes says, yes, sir. Let's get it, bro. Jay Moore says, Arizona is desperate for a running back. Okay, we did that one. Chris says, Kamara told the GM that he doesn't want to be traded. Right. And he wants to finish his career in New Orleans. Are we still stashing Miller? Yes, you got to keep stashing Miller. Because that doesn't mean anything. I will still stash Miller because it might go down to a 50-50 split, and that hurts Kamara's value now. Kamara now is outside the top 24 as an RB to me. I don't like that. So I heard that same news, man. You got to lower Alvin Kamara, but I would stash Miller. You never know what might happen. Kamara could go down with an injury. Three Strikes says, if you got Henderson, White, and Rico, which two running backs, which two you running with? Yeah, we did that one already. Sorry about that. Yankee says, Kincaid has a questionable status in his Monday night game. Do you recommend picking up Tungus, Otten, Barner, Fannin, or Hunt alone, or another tight end? I would probably play Tungus or Otten. Otten, especially with no Godwin. All they got is Ibuka and Otten and Rashad White. So I would say Tungus or Otten, since you have a questionable tag for Kincaid and you don't want to wait on it. I wouldn't wait on it either. I understand that's tough to do that. And then that way you don't have nobody to play. And then do you want to play a backup tight end? You want to play Dawson Knox? You probably don't want to play Dawson Knox. I would tell you, if you wanted to hold on to Kincaid because you really like him, then go get Dawson Knox. But if you don't like Dawson Knox and that's disgusting to you, I would probably say play Tungus or Otten. Pound Town says, I got Judkins. My league is not PPR. That format is weak. I like the PPR leagues, man. I really do. But I get it. I respect everybody their preference. Thomas says Bourne or Hindi. I'm going with Hindi over Bourne. I think you could play Bourne. I just like the running back when it comes to Bourne being the wide receiver too. If he was the wide receiver one with no Jennings, I probably would say Bourne. But I'm gonna go with Hindi with the touchdown upside that he has. So I'm gonna go with Hindi over Bourne. Three Strikes says, y'all hit the like. Let's get the likes up, fellas. What's up, NY? Says Mac Jones or Trevor Lawrence? That's a good one. I'm going with Trevor. I made a decision myself to go to the waivers and get Trevor Lawrence instead of Mac Jones. I think that when Trevor tasted that success, I think he's going to keep that going as far as running the ball. And so that's why I'm playing Trevor Lawrence because I like his rushing upside. That's the main reason, bro. Other than that, I would play Mac Jones, but it's the rushing upside that makes me want to play Trevor. Michael, what's up, Michael? He says, TD, would you start Zach Charbonnet or Henderson? I would start Henderson over Zach Charbonnet. Brinley says, tight end to stash to start. Fannin versus Waller from the Dolphins. I would go with Waller. Thomas says JD5 or Love. I'm going with JD5 because we're not going to play matchups. I'm going to automatically guess that you drafted JD5, and I'm not going to try to break it down because sometimes you breaking down the breakdown of the breakdown, and I'm not going to do that. It's Occam Razor. It's Occam Razor. You got to play JD5. We're not sitting here making a decision for 4 or 5 more points, and it could be more. But I just think this is very unfair, and I always go to making a judgment on 2 beautiful women. You want her or you want her? So I'm going to go with JD5. Love versus a horrible Bengals D. Also Penix also Penix or Geno. Yes. And the horrible Bengals defense, they could run the ball with Josh Jacobs, and he could have 2 rushing or 3 rushing touchdowns, and Jordan Love just go have a high completion percentage, and the game is over. But JD5, I know he's going to rush the ball. They need JD5, so this offense is ran through JD5, so I feel safer with him getting a rushing touchdown or throwing for more touchdown than Jordan Love. Jordan Love, they don't have to win with him throwing the ball. They can win multiple ways. So JD5, they not winning without him throwing for touchdowns. I just don't see it. Unless Corey Krosky-Merritt go for 3 touchdowns, and I don't see that happen. I can see him getting 1, but I don't see him getting 3. Action says Mac Jones for 300 yards and the win. I like that. 3 Strikes says I'm hurting at wide receiver this week. I'm running Dobbs over J-Mo. Don't trust Goff outside on deep pass. but Pearsall is out. QJ out. I'm hurt. What's your thoughts? I'm hurt at wide receiver this week. I'm running with Dobbs over J-Mo. So my thoughts is what you just said, the opposite. I'm going with J-Mo, and I'm not gonna sit here and say you wrong for going with Dobbs because the science, the math says to go with Dobbs. I'm going with J-Mo. I drafted J-Mo. I'm not gonna put him on my bench and then he end up going boom. He's got a boom, and they want him to get the ball. So what I'm also doing today on FanDuel, I'm betting on J-Mo for anytime touchdown, 2 touchdowns, and first touchdown of the game, because I feel like they want J-Mo to score. That look what Jared Goff said in the conference 2 weeks ago. He said, listen, J-Mo had a drop, but we trust J-Mo. He's one of the best wide receivers in the game. We're going to keep pushing him the ball. And so I'm going to play J-Mo to make sure I don't miss the boom, because my offense can afford it. You can't afford it, so there's nothing wrong with playing Dobbs. To me, I don't see Goff and outside. Now, if it was cold, hell yeah. Like if it's in Green Bay, I'm like, I don't know about Goff and the cold weather. This is a Jahmyr Gibbs, David. But early, like right now with the weather, it's still like 60 to 50 degrees outside. I'm not worried about no weather. It ain't raining in that game. So I'm not worried about Goff. Let me see. And he says, but Pearsall is out. QJ is out. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I feel. I'm starting Goff and J-Mo. John Parham says Thomas love for sure, cause Bengals secondary is trash. Action says Niners. Benji says star 2 non-PPR. Chase Brown, Haskins, Michael Carter, Kenneth Walker. I'm gonna go with Kenneth Walker and Chase Brown. Kenneth Walker and Chase Brown. Jay Moore says Ibuka to Saturn. Yes, sir. What's going on, Karina? MVM in the building. Say TD Barner or Fannin Jr. Let's go with Barner. Let's go with AJ Barner. Action says CMC for 100 rush. I like that. Aaron Holloway says, do you play Tungus and Bourne despite Jennings playing today? Yes, because he got to have some weapons. Who he going to throw it? He's not going to throw it to just 2 guys. So he's going to throw it to Tungus. He's going to throw it to Bourne and Jennings. Just 3 guys. And that's usually what this offense can handle, even with CMC. Jay Wells says Dak or Baker. I'm going with Dak. Well, wait a minute. The weather. I'm going to go with Baker, man, but I still really like Dak. But I'm going with Baker just because of the weather. So Dak can still ball out, but because of the weather, that's the common denominator. Well, not the common, but that's the denominator that I'm moving out of this. So I'm going to take that weather, and it tells me to go with Baker because Dak got a tough weather game. Jay Moore says, really a Golden? I'm going with Golden. John Parham says that because Panthers is trash. Flip says, do you think Indiana has a chance at making it to the college football playoffs this year? That was a good win over the Oregon Ducks yesterday, still undefeated. Yes, they keep making it to the college playoffs, even though they got whooped. This team, man, I love what this coach is doing. He's not going to be there next year. Somebody's going to offer him $50 to $60 million to come coach Florida State, one of these big schools that got a lot of money. So, yes, I do think they can make it to the college football playoffs, and they could do well. MVM says Henderson, Knight, or Vidal, please pick one. I'm going with Henderson. Jay Moore says, so I'll just keep Miller and drop Carter? Yes. What's up, Travis Looney? What's up, bruh? He says, I know you always say start your studs, but does your strategy change in a guillotine league? No, it doesn't. No, but listen, in a guillotine league, because I'm in a guillotine, it's stars over stars. So if I got DK Metcalf, but then I got Justin Jefferson, DK got to go to the bench because I got Justin Jefferson. So you just got to go to the top of the top. So rankings is very, very important in guillotine. You have to have your own mind for your own rankings. So you got to play. I think you should still play your studs, which is the stud over the stud, because you probably got your whole team is probably really, really good at this point in time in a guillotine league. Sports Dog says TD 118 PPR super flex. Need two the flex. Keenan Allen, Shaheed, Kamar, Ramondre Stevenson, Shakir, Bourne, Godwin, J-Mo. Need this win, TD. Bro, you ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna tell you to go with Shaheed and J-Mo. Shaheed and J-Mo. Jimmy says, for those scared to play Henry, I suggest trading him for the same grade wide receiver RBs instead of benching him. I agree. Preach, Jimmy. I'm not sitting no Derrick Henry. I'm playing him. I'm Occam Razor. And don't care what he scored. Y'all, until he scored 3. I'm sorry, I had to play him. We on the next week. Lamar's coming back soon. J-Mo says, sounds like a boom week for Hendy. Let's see if it happens. I ain't saying there's no boom week, but I got to pick between the groceries. And that's my favorite grocery right now, according to a lot of people in that tier with him. I'm picking Henderson over guys. I'm not picking him over Dowd, or I'm not picking him over, let me see, Dowd, or what's the other guy? Rashad White. But right under that tier, I'm going with Henderson. Yankee says, is Sharp still worth a stash? K9 looks strong. Yeah, I still think you got to stash Charbonnet. K9 hasn't stayed healthy his whole career for 17 weeks. That's what it's about. K9 is doing good. We all know that he could do good, but we all wanted to know, can he stay healthy for the next 17 weeks? Yankees says drop Kincaid for another tight end as he may not play on Monday and has a bye week 7. Got you. B Silver says start 2 flex and 1 tight end, full PPR, J-Mo, Horton, Travis Hunter, Dobbs, Charbonnet, Tungus, and Waller. I'm going with J-Mo and Travis Hunter. Now, listen, you want to swap out J-Mo, you can, guys. I'm probably biased with J-Mo. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I'm probably is very biased with J-Mo. But I got to be like I am with DK. I know my players. I know DK. I know J-Mo. I've been seeing him play since he's been in the NFL. And ever since he started playing a lot better than he did his first 2 years, getting suspended and stuff. So I'm going to tell you to play J-Mo, and I'm going to go with Travis Hunter, who I think is going to get a few more targets. I will go with a Travis Hunter anytime touchdown today. Yankees says Jameson or Bourne today. Woo, that's tough. I'm going with Jameson, but again, I'm biased. Bourne is a good play, even though Jennings is playing. Bourne is a good play. King Justin says, I heard the coaches are trying to encourage Trevor to use his legs. That's what he did at Clemson. Big facts, King Justin. That's why I'm playing Trevor today. J-Mo says, Garrett Wilson might be in the concussion protocol. That's why I don't deal with no damn Jets. That's why I don't want no Garrett Wilson. That's why I don't want no damn Justin Fields. Because the shit is just, he's a nuclear. Listen, when I say nuclear energy, I really mean it. And this is what I mean when I say nuclear. When I think about nuclear, so hold on, let me take a step back. Guys, my mind works in metaphors. That's why I always use metaphors. It might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. And I apologize if I'm not always making sense, because I know I probably don't. I'm not perfect. I'm not the smartest man in the world. I feel like I'm intelligent, but I'm not the smartest man. So this is what I'm saying. When I think about like Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields and a couple other guys in the NFL, it makes me think of nuclear energy. So listen, I'm not going to put a nuclear plant in certain communities, in certain counties, in certain districts, because if the shit go bad, we all in trouble. We're all in trouble. And that's why even though nuclear energy, guess what, can light up that damn whole community for hundreds of years, because the energy is pure. But that shit so pure, it could blow up. And that's what I see with Justin Fields. He can take a 70, 80-yard run, but this shit could blow up. He could take an 80-yard run and fall down and hit his head, and he out for the rest of for 2 or 3 weeks. That's why I don't want that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going clean energy. We're gonna deal with some solar farms. We're gonna deal with some water energy. I'm good with the nuclear energy. I don't need that. Somebody else can handle that, and they make a bunch of money. That's good. So if you want Justin Fields, you want Garrett Wilson, you want the New York Jets players, you take them. I can't do it. Big Will, what's going on, bro? Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Dirtboy says, do you think it's worth it to dump a majority of your fab to pick up Jackson Dart? I have Golf and Purdy. No. listen, I would say make somebody pay for them, but I would say 30% of your fab or what's left, but you got golf. Listen, man, this is what you sound like. Hey, man, I'm dating J-Lo. I'm also dating Margot Robbie, but this new girl off Twilight, she's asking me out. Should I go out with her? Bro, how you going to have time to deal with all those beautiful women? How you going to have time to play all those really good quarterbacks that you're going to have? You're going to have to make a decision between Jackson Dart and golf? If you smart enough to do that, bro, and I'm not being facetious, if you smart enough to do that, you do that. I'm not. I got golf. I'm going to keep playing them. And I'm going to get better. I'm going to try to work the way where I can get better at other positions. But I'm not going to sit here and try to get off golf and just play matchups with everybody. That means you don't care about nobody or your players. You will play matchups with anybody on your team, except if it's B. John Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs. So I would spend 30% of fab on Dart just to keep everybody honest. But I'm playing golf every week. CK says, yo, TD, Vancouver checking in. Okay, what do it do with Debo? You got to play Debo. Play Debo. I know they're saying he got a questionable tag, but he should be all right. Debo gonna have a questionable tag. We see how he played the game, so he can play through injuries. So I would play Debo. With no Terry McLaurin. I gave Brian Thomas Jr. I can play. I have Brian Thomas Jr. I can play. But CK, what? Okay, are you in an 8-team league? Because Brian Thomas Jr. should already be starting. Debo and Brian Thomas Jr. should always be starting. Both of these guys are starts. But yes, I most definitely start Debo. As in right now, he's healthy. And Brian Thomas Jr., you need to find a way to get him in your lineup. But if you're in an 8-team league, if Debo don't play, you can play Brian Thomas. But I would rather play Debo over Brian Thomas if you're in an 8-team or 10-team league and you got all these guys on your team. But if you're in a 12-team league, I think you need to find a way to get both of these guys in your lineup, if you can, if it's possible. Gavin Holloway says Shaheed, Flowers, and Myers. I'm going to say Shaheed. The reason why I'm saying Shaheed, Flowers, he's been questionable. They say he might be on the snap count, and they say the game is raining. So that's the reason why the weather could be bad in that game. So I'm going to go with Shaheed over Flowers and Myers. Jay Moore says, should I drop Bo Nix for Benson? No, do not drop Bo Nix. And then if you got a bunch of quarterbacks on your team that I don't know about, then you fine. You don't need Bo Nix. But I'm not dropping Bo Nix. I'm always assuming that everybody's in a 12-team league unless you tell me. So 12-team league, no, I'm not dropping no Bo Nix for no Benson. Sport Doctor Titty, that's who I had in the beginning to begin with. Glad you agreed with me on J-Mo Shaheed. Yes, sir. S. Thomas back and says, Metcalf or Jalen Warren for my flex half-point PPR. I'm going with Metcalf. I think Metcalf can have a sneaky boom game today, so I'm going with Metcalf for a half-point PPR. Usually I like to go with the running back, but Keenum Gainwell's going to get some snaps. Maybe he comes in and get a couple targets and a couple goal line carries. So let's go with Metcalf because he's a touchdown guy. Have you noticed? Look at his touchdown with Aaron Rodgers. They get down there, he's looking for Metcalf. Yankee says, are the defenses preventing golf to throw to J-Mo? Reed, they are trying to golf to throw short. No, man, listen. It's all types of different designs. You can get J-Mo the ball underneath too. You can get him. He's not a great route runner, but he's a good route runner. He's solid. He's good enough to be in the NFL. Really, you can't take the long pass away because you have to stop David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. So even if you ain't worried about the short long passes, or you ain't worried about our short passes, you're going to have to come up for that run. So eventually we're going to design something for J-Mo. But J-Mo probably has a safety over the top. But if you keep putting that safety over the top and we keep winning and J-Mo ain't getting no targets, that's fine for Detroit. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be times where the safety is going to have to come down to help support that run, and J-Mo's going to get a chance. But what you're saying, the science of what you're saying is exactly right. They are probably taking away the long passes and making them throw short. But to me, it doesn't matter. I don't process it that way because I know each week a defensive coordinator has to do something different to take away something. You can't go out there with the same looks that you've been given or the team gave them the same look last week if it didn't work. If they lost, but they took away J-Mo, you're going to have to do something different. So I still feel good about J-Mo. Big Will says, what's good, TD? I don't see Mac Jones lasting the whole game against Tampa. He damn near got killed last week versus the Rams. Yeah, but each week is different, bro. I get what you're saying. That can happen. I'm not gonna sit here and let you call that and then I act like you talking crazy because you're not. But I'm just gonna play it, man. I'm not even gonna try to overthink it, bro. I'm just gonna play Mac Jones. If he goes down, he goes down. But you don't want to have. Listen, so it's one thing if you're trying to go to the moon, right? And I don't want to get off topic, but this is what I'm saying. So I watch a lot, I love science. I'm not like, I don't like biology per se, like learning in the school, but I am intrigued with learning new stuff like science. And so when they take these trips to the moon or satellites, they go over like 100, maybe even 1,000 different scenarios in the computer processes it. Don't be the computer, bro. Don't go over every. But what if he gets hurt? But what if the first drive this and then because we can do that, bro. And this over 1,000 different scenarios can happen. Narrow it down to about 2 or 3 things and go with it. Narrow it down to 2 or 3 things and you make your plan for 2 or 3 things and go with it. Don't think about every scenario that can go wrong. Mac Jones could get hurt, but he's active. He's there. Let's go with it. Let's play him. If you ain't got no other better quarterback. CK says 10-man PPR. I have Debo, AJ, and Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, 10-man. Okay, you do got a 10-man league. Okay, I get it. That's why I wanted to make sure. The Yankees lose. CK talking junk to y'all baseball fans. MVM says, TD, hey, TD, someone offered me Jacoby Myers and Dowdle for my Woody. Should I accept? Okay, you got offered Jacoby Myers and Dowdle. No, because we don't know. Jacoby, to me, is just a PPR guy. Dowdle, to me, when Chuba comes back, is going to be in a 50-50 or a 60-40 split, and that still is, that's okay. That's a flex play. But Woody, to me, in the long term, the way the trajectory of the Houston Texans is going, he could be a really nice back in the 3rd and 4th quadrant. So I would rather have Woody before I get off that rental of a Dowdle. Dowdle right now is a rental. Myers is safe, but he still doesn't make me want to give up Woody. So I would keep Woody. That's a good, interesting trade, but I would keep Woody. Jay Moore says, my bad, TD, I have May was going to drop Knicks for Benson. I still don't want you to drop Knicks. Try to trade him, man, because is he having a big game this week? Right now, I don't know what's going on. Is he having a big game? Be careful with dropping Knicks. I would try to trade him, but if you got to, you can. Is Benson going to actually break your lineup? If he's not going to break your lineup, bro, you don't even have to pick him up. He says, can't find a trade partner for Bo. Okay. So read on, TD, read on. Right. But is Benson really going to break your lineup? If he's going to break your lineup, I tell you, go ahead and do it. If you can have him in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and he comes back and you can plug and play him immediately, you ain't got to wait and see none of that, then yeah. But if you're going to have to wait, I don't think it's worth it. Zay Flowers is healthy. By the way, guys, he's healthy. QJ is out, but Zay Flowers is 100% healthy. King Justice says, J-Mo has been pure bust. The talent is absolutely there, but the problem is the Lions have talent everywhere else, and he's just low on their packing order. Right, King Justin, but listen, what is the template of what we're talking about? Are we sitting Lab for J-Mo? No, we're not sitting Lab for J-Mo. Are we sitting QJ for J-Mo? Are we sitting T. Higgins for J-Mo? No, what we're doing is Alec Ayermanor or J-Mo. Now, me personally, that's why I always do it a little bit different. I'm playing J-Mo for my preference of my personal team, and I want to share that with y'all. Professionally, I would just play no J-Mo. But guess what? If I was personal, it would be a lot of players that I would never tell y'all to play that actually hit. I would never tell y'all to play DK Metcalf if I'm not being personal or a little bit. So personal, I think you have to keep playing J-Mo. And I'm not going to sit there and pat myself on the back as J-Mo go off because you still is right. J-Mo could go off 3 weeks in a row and you still are right. But what I'm trying to tell you, which we see things or differently, we seen the same picture, but I'm looking at the rainbow at the top and how they smooth the colors in. You looking at the sun and you saying it's just a regular sun in that picture. So, and that's fine. We both seen it different. I'm just trying to capture the J-Mo if I got him on my team. But if you want to get off of him, that's fine. But this is what I would say, King Justin. If you off of him, there's no way you can come back. You might say, well, wait a minute. If you start playing good, it's different. That's not how I see it. To me, I already can tell stuff is going to come. Things are going to change. What goes up must come down. What goes down must go up. So if you got J-Mo on your team and you trying to figure out what to do and you maybe need him for a lineup, you have to put him in there and just let him go. You just got, it's like throwing somebody in the water. You know what, man? He might not be the best swimmer, but in order for him to learn how to swim and be good at it, you just got to put him out there. So in order to get J-Mo points, if you put it on the bench, you might end up saying, man, if I'd have played J-Mo, I would have won. But I'm not telling you to play J-Mo. I just want you to know what type of player he is. I thought he would be a little bit more consistent, but I'm not going to call him a bust right now, because that's, I try to be in the middle. I don't want to say you suck. I don't want to say you a bust. I don't want to say you the greatest player. I just want to stay even keel and do what I need to do to get my wins. So I know that's a lot of fruit salad, bro, but hopefully you understand, because things are just different when it comes to how you play players and what they provide for you. Because 1 minute a player could be playing terrible, but he has a lot of upside. So you have to understand that. Jay Moore says, also have Hampton out. Right. Tutu Atwell, guys, is also out today, too. Tutu Atwell is out. So I like Terrence Ferguson as a tight end. Big Will says defenses are keeping the safeties up high because he's the only deep threat. Right. But that don't mean he can't have one play. That's all. Remember, you got to understand football. The same thing with DK Metcalf. Why did DK have a big game? He had that one big play. That's what he is. He's a big play type of guy. He's a big play type of guy. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I'm going to get ready to set my lineups, watch a little bit of the game that's already been passed. Y'all guys be safe. Appreciate y'all being here. Dirkboy says, if Rattler gets benched or hurt, do you think Taysom get more work at quarterback? No. They probably go to Tyler Show. They probably go to Tyler Show. He would be a cheat code at the tight end slot. Right. But they did that a couple years ago. I don't know if they're going to do that. Yep. See you later, Aaron. All right, guys. Y'all be safe.